Oh snap, my mic is on. Well, that's embarrassing. I just took the fattest sip of a ghost. Oh no. Whoops. Bruh, my bad. Yeah, I didn't know my mic was on, dude. It is hot, and I just had Ghost delivered. They didn't have my orange. I took a sip, man. That was a commercial sip. that was a sippy sip, and GL. Oh man, it's hot. It is hot, and it's only 86. That means it's gonna get worse. How we doing, guys? Popping open all the tabs. That's gonna make our research more expeditious. We got one more thing to do. The nerdy thing. Spanish letters with accents. What did you guys do yesterday? Yesterday was kind of fun for the slate to be over so early. Then I went to kind of crank up a stream. And I was like, wait, there's only one game early tomorrow? And then I saw that game was the Wind Olympics out there in Wrigley. So for kicks, I took a couple peeks at the home run odds, and they were crazy. We were seeing like plus 180, basically like 36% implied probability on a player to homer, which is wild. It wasn't the lowest I've ever seen. I think I saw, was it Fernando Tatis was like even money almost in like a Mexico game to homer, and sure enough, first at bat homer. I think he might have homered every game that series. That series was wild. All right, and then in twins. So as we go throughout this slate, we are updating the MLB Grind VIP spreadsheet. So if you guys do have active subscriptions, you want to research along, you could in real time in the spreadsheet as we fill out the index portal, the game by game, and get our research in, man. What up, Pojen? What up, Cujo? Cujo's the one that gave us instant permission to do the day stream. Sorry for miscommunication yesterday, chat. I know I kind of said there would be a stream last night, but my brain wasn't braining, and I thought there was a bigger early slate selection for Friday, but it was just one regular game. So I was like, dude, we can do. I'm gonna be real. I think I like the day streams more from the market is the market. I don't have to guess too much on some lines, and I've had some comments on recent videos. People want more prop bet picks, which I'm not necessarily a pick seller, but I'll look at it and we'll lean. But I can't really do that the night before too much, you know. So these day streams kind of cool for that. What up, Travis? What up, Dustin? And they got 5-day fast this evening. Torn between catfish, mac and cheese, or bacon cheeseburger, curly fries. Well, I would go with the bacon cheeseburger, but I feel like the right answer to end a fast is like something easier for your stomach to digest, and I feel like that's fish. What's up, Justin Sports? Yeah, we don't have the Wrigley win game, and we got Coors postponed early. Won't he do it? God is good, you know. Yeah, Carol's. Yeah, dude, that's just insane. Would it just out of curiosity? So you're telling me all these guys are 36% probability to homer, but you can get them at like 6 to 9 fantasy. You would just take the fantasy points. Don't, especially on PrizePicks. Unless you want to throw all those. I doubt that you can get home run picks, and I would be wrong a little bit. Dude, will they give you? Actually, let me take my gold bush off. David Smith, get the power guys here. So 1, you get 70. Oh, that's a flex. You only get 200 to 1 on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys homering. Y'all better not be doing that. Go hit the fantasy points. I mean, that's insane. 200 to 1 for those 5. You don't even get 200. I don't know. Yeah, don't do it. Don't let me find out one of y'all are doing a 5-pick home run card for 200 to 1. I will have a BF. You don't even understand. Yeah, just take all those less than 300 odd guys. Take their over on fantasy points. GG, go next. All right, we got everything. We got DK tabs. We got the spreadsheet. We got Baseball Savant. We got Fangraphs open. Guess now we just got to get to typing and doing some research. Chat, I streamed on Twitch last night. I had to change my mic a little bit. So if my mic is too low, too loud, music, let me know now. Because once we get in this car, I'm not turning around. Yeah, fantasy points, especially for Carroll. But not even just a safer standpoint, it's just a better bet. Like if you take those same 5 guys for fantasy points, you'll probably get, I don't know, 200 to 1 for a 5-pick home run parlay. It's literally just bananas, bro. It might be one of the dumbest things. Look at this. Look. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can do you get 20 to 1 or 34 to 1 for those 5. I don't know. I'd rather do 3 units on that bet, 6 units, I guess, versus 1 for homers versus fantasy. I don't know. I'm not doing a 5-pick home run card for less than $1,000. You know what I mean? On PrizePicks, you get parlay odds on the books, and they're bananas. Do we skip this regular game, chat? Probably, right? It's about to start in 9 minutes, so you guys get the point. It's blowing out 20 miles an hour. Half of the hitters are dang near favorited to homer. Just and I don't think anyone's grinding showdown there, so you're probably just go get an over card on one of the prop sites or the sports books and go and do it and then just start researching. All right, let's get the sports book open here. What's up, Nick Creasy? What up, Earth to Air? All right, man. Okay, everyone's here, man. Appreciate y'all. I really do appreciate y'all. It's freaking hot. Jesus, why is it so hot? You guys want to play along? MLBgrind.com premium membership. Hit subscribe. Week pass, month pass, season pass. What is a Microsoft Edge? No, thank you. Link to the Discord. Link to the spreadsheet in there. I need to do a little bit of house cleaning. Maybe tonight, tomorrow. There's a lot of people that maybe got a week pass, week 1. Gotta get them out of there. So if that's you, and then we probably get a new spreadsheet link, and then maybe make it to where some of these tabs. I know a lot of people are not spreadsheet lifed, so we're gonna make these tabs a little bit more like a website. You know what I mean? So there's work to be done. My plan in my head. I don't know if you computer nerds can relate. There's a couple things. I got my hand in a couple cookie jars. For businesses, pop-up businesses, a lot of e-commerce, a lot of just randomness. And my chair, my desk here, it's hot, it's stuffy. I don't love it. So my plan, or maybe this urge I got, is to do a 1 or 2 day setup of my computer and all that in front of one of the couches in the living room. That way I could, you know, maybe put a game on and just grind meticulous stuff that just gets really annoying when you're in an uncomfortable chair. Video editing, all that stuff. So maybe tonight or tomorrow I'll get that operation going, and then one of these streams you'll see me on the couch talking baseball. Let's go. We got the Tigers hosting the Royals, so there is a 3-game early slate. We're gonna look at that a little bit, and then we'll also bounce back and forth on the props. If you guys got anything, if you guys have already been looking at props too, share them with the class. Royals have a 4.1 run total. Tigers 3.6. Looks like a little wind blowing in out there in Comerica in the 70s though. What up, RC? Jake had a shovel. You had to shovel snow? Shovel? Like you getting inches of that crap? That's actually kind of crazy. Wait, Pojan, ain't you in Colorado? It's hot in Colorado. It's 27. Dang. What up, Rob? Hope you're doing all right. Big homie. Dude, I haven't heard the term big homie in a while. When I was walking the prison streets, that was a common term for me. But I guess that you're either big homie, you're old school, or whatever. I don't know. Which 2 pitchers are you eyeing for DK? Hey Don, I just cracked the book open, brother. If I had to take a look at it real quick, it's looking like a lot of good pitchers and a lot of bad matchups. So I think we gotta have to. I don't want to rush that answer for you. There's a lot of good pitchers at the top. Probably Logan Webb, if I had to pick one. And then some combo of Yamamoto, Peralta. But again, don't love the matchups. 72 in Pensacola. Sheesh. WrestleMania weekend. No Goria. That one came off. U.S. chef. Oh, dude, working in the kitchen for a Texas summer. No, thank you. No, thank you. 79. Yeah. We had record highs on some of these days so far. I'm like, dude, we're doing record highs in April. I'm good, actually. All right, we got to rank this one out. Obviously, Cole Reagan's going to be at the tippy top here. Almost a 37% carry rate so far this season. 30% essentially the last 2 seasons. Just a lot of green, a lot of what you want. 1.76 expected ERA this season. Even if we're just flatlining or maxing out the last 2 seasons, we're going to take that against a team like the Tigers and Comerica. The Tigers do look better against lefties than righties, but it's not like we're running from the situation. Yeah. So looking at the 3-game slate of pitching, this is where the pitching's at. It really is. Wheeler, Reagans, Sandy, and then Jackson Jobe. Kind of like Kumar Rocker was kind of trolling me against the Angels, but Jobe, Rocker, these young guys with this raw talent that we know is in there, we expect it to come out eventually, but it's going to take some time. And Jobe has been kind of that guy in that category. I don't have him as high as some of these other guys, but he's there. But this is not the matchup I expect him to realize that potential. Let me put a 0 on the weather rating, by the way. So far, just a 15% K rate and 8% swing and strike rate. Because of his minor league pedigree and his upbringing, I do expect those numbers to increase. But this is the Royals. This is one of the hardest to strike out teams in all of baseball. I think right now, just maybe the Blue Jays might be above them in that stat. So this is not an upside spot. And if it wasn't for the fact that we do have a couple of upside pitchers competing with him in a roster spot, I'd be like, yeah, maybe just keep taking a shot on him until it finally happens. But I don't think this is the spot. Actually, Kansas is behind San Diego and Oakland, or at the Athletics, excuse me. But it's not by much, right? 19% versus 18.6, 18 and 18, basically. So not really a great spot for them. Jackson Jobe, while he's still trying to figure it out and he's still lacking the ability to miss bats, I think on a 3-game slate, you sure are going to have to be interested in some Royals. If nothing else, the Substack that involves maybe an India Witt, Vinny P. Funny thing I saw about Pascantino that was floating around Twitter. He was on like MLB Network or something, and he talked about his increase in bat speed, and he's actually attributed that to more swing and miss and being worse, but maybe it's a worse in the short time until he catches up to it. With the slower swing, he felt like he was making more contact. So if you've been on the Vinny P and he's been like not as great as you expected, maybe, just maybe, it has something to do with that. Some Royals, some Reagans, and that's all I got to say about that. Reagans OU on K's is 7.5. Jeez. Did go to the Korean barbecue place yet? Not yet. It's not open, but it's got to the point where the signs are up. Dude, my city's building a bunch of new restaurants. A couple of them are just like another McDonald's. We probably have like 6 of them now. Another Chick-fil-A. I went to Chick-fil-A yesterday. It was way harder of an experience than I wanted it to be. Let's pull a projection for Reagan's. For my birthday, I was given a Chick-fil-A gift card. And it's just been sitting in my passenger seat all this time, and I just happened to be by a Chick-fil-A. So I was like, all right, let me download, and you have to like use the app to make it more convenient. But then like the app, you can't just like pay. You have to like load the app with money. I was like, this, so I ended up spending probably double what I would spend at a normal place, just loading this app with money and the gift card, which was only like a $10 gift card anyway. I don't know. Chick-fil-A is expensive. It's good. It's expensive. I'm gonna give Reagan's a 30% K rate. Job, I'm gonna give him that 18. Walk rate on Reagan's, we're gonna give him a, let's give him 6. And then for Job, we're gonna give him, man, he's been walking. I'm gonna give him that 13 until he proves otherwise. For outs, Reagan's at, we're gonna give him 18. For Job, we're gonna give him 15.5. So 18, 15.5. It gave me right about 7.5 Ks, Nick Greasy. So I mean, I think the line is efficient. I can't do it, but it's efficient. I'm gonna give him 3 towards a quality start, and that'll be that. I don't think this is a game I'm going to be hunting for props. With Job's walk rate, I don't know. I don't want to sweat walks either. Yeah, I don't know. Appreciate that, Don. What a pinstripe. Thought you can say you'd be entitled to compensation. Nita Carl's Jr. It's the gift card money. It was gift card money, which wasn't going to be enough to feed my big back Gordo self. So I was like, whatever, dude. I'll put it as a down payment on my chicken sandwiches. So I had to add to it, but you have to like load it. You can't just like charge your card directly. You have to like deposit money on the Chick-fil-A app. And I was like, whatever. I'm already halfway through. Let's do it. Unless I just don't know what I'm doing, but that's what it was leading me to do. Hello. We're doing military time. All right, we're gonna move on to the next game here. Again, this is all 3-game early slate, and by early, it's just barely before the main slate. But hey, I'm okay with that, man. You can make the main slate even smaller. Fridays are historically notorious for being chaotic, especially Friday night core slate. So now that you're taking cores from us, I wonder if that leads to cores being like a doubleheader one of the next 2 days. And then sometimes those doubleheaders just don't get included on these main slates. So we might be able to avoid cores for a weekend if we're lucky. I don't know, or at least for 2 days. All right, Luis L. Ortiz throwing baseballs for the Guardians. Maybe up against Carmen Majinski out there in PNC. Keep Brian. Since we're complaining about my big backness, I just DoorDashed Snickers, 2 ghosts, and a gallon of water. Well, we know god dang well I'm getting a share size Snickers. What did they give me? They didn't give me they give me a regular size. Charged me $4 a freaking Snicker for regular size. Then instead of a gallon, I get the torpedo bottle. All right. Am I petty enough to go complain for like $4 worth of product that I feel like I didn't get? Maybe. 4.6 runs implied for the Guardians, 4.1 for the Pirates. We'd seen some positive wind in PNC in the past couple days. Today looks pretty neutral, right to left, but it is in the 70s, dude. That's the theme of today's slate so far. It's freaking hot, and it's hot here, which is good for offense. Ortiz so far this season, a 1.41 whip, almost a 5 expected ERA, 1.5 K rate. The swing and strike rate is up so far, not significantly up, and it's not like creating a massive boost of strikeouts. But I think you would at least have to be somewhat interested in a maybe lower owned pitcher against this Pirates team that certainly can offer some strikeout upside. This projected lineup, almost an aggregate 23% K rate against righties since the beginning of last year. If you look at where he's been getting his strikeouts, Ortiz that is, so far he's striking out lefties at a kind of ridiculous, probably unsustainable clip, 29%. So we might expect that to come down. And then if we hyper focus on this righty split, he is striking them out less. So really nothing to see here. If you wanted to click them, you're just banking on the Pirates being bad. But I think the numbers are going to make me want the bats before the arms, and I'm not running to the arms here. I think both teams are pretty highly concentrated on the talent portions of the lineup, and the Guardians, you know, Quan, J-Ram, and then you kind of mix and match the Santanas, the Manzardos. So this is a whole lot of yuck. Substack, Pirates Substack. And if you're if you're a psycho on this slate and running 100, 150, obviously I think you do spin the wheel, make a deal on these two. But yikes, that's not what you want. Let's give him a 19% K rate because that lefty split seems fair. 23 on Majinski, walk rate on Ortiz. We'll give him an 8, and then Majinski, I'm gonna give him 8. I give them both 8s. I should get like the most basic projections ever. 16.5 and 15. That's how we do that. What up, Andy? Hope you're doing all right. Ortiz ex Pirate, little revenge game. What up, Paul? Appreciate that. Like O'Neal for a homer here. Yeah, so Ortiz passed the strikeouts that don't make sense and probably won't last. The over 1 home run per 9 probably does last, and if we expect him to miss less bats, less strikeouts, we might expect this number to go up because his ground ball rate so far in small sample has decreased from last year, which was not great. His line drive rate has increased, his hard contact is up, and he's got an 8% barrel rate. So yeah, O'Neill Cruz, the Cruz missile, should he be in that leadoff spot, certainly projects pretty well here for some damage. So, yeah, makes a lot of sense. I imagine he's going to project pretty well in the bomb detector in just a moment. And then we will get to the main slate. Yeah, what up, Ricky? Pretty Ricky. Marlins into Phillies. And I think this is where you anchor your first pitcher. Xavier Edwards. Yo, Xavier's a good name. I don't really see a lot of Xaviers these days. When I was growing up, I had a lot of peers with that name. Great name. They're always so cool. You can't not be cool if your name's Xavier. Life hack. Name your kid Xavier. Even like, I don't know. I was going to make a ridiculous X-Men reference, but anyway, 2 of the best pitchers on the slate in perhaps the worst park you could ask for on this little small slate. But talent versus talent makes for good baseball. More so the Sandy side is scary, right? We're a little bit more trepidatious to pitch against this Phillies team than we are this Marlins team, even with the bandbox. And this is also a slate where pitching feels so shallow that as long as Zach Wheeler at his likely ownership gets like 15 fantasy points, probably 80 to 90% owned, it's probably going to be enough to give you a shot at first place, even if he, you know what I mean? So top of the interest ranking for this game, Marlins have an implied run total just 3.1. It looks like a little bit of wind blowing out to center out there in Citizens Bank. Wind to center, 12 mph. So yeah, without a doubt, Wheeler looking like the ace of the slate. Almost a 30% K rate so far, 14% swing and strike rate. The whip is great. The expected ERA is great. The xFIP to lefties is the only blemish on the portal chart. He has let up homers to righties, but seems like maybe a little bit of bad luck. Hard contact's up, the line drive rate's up, but the barrel rate's about the same. The K rate's still great. The Marlins will toss out a lot of lefties likely in this spot, so we might diminish the 30% K rate to like a 29, but nothing we're running from. Still a heavy ground ball rate. We'll try to keep him in the park, yeah. So let's give him a 29 on the K rate. That still gives him, without a doubt, the best. Sandy's still a guy that was looking pretty sharp to start the season. Still not ready to give up on him. I was all in on him last start, and he kind of got a little rough. But I think I was a little bit too excited for a short-term increase in strikeouts, I think, without a big sample. He had 7 against Pittsburgh, then 4 against the Mets, and then 1 against Washington. But in retrospect, is that really that crazy? Washington's right now top 10 in terms of least strikeout percentage. So they're a little bit scrappy. I don't know the specific lineup for that day. And then Mets, where are the Mets at on that list? Mets are 5. So it only makes sense. I think the peak version of Sandy is like a guy that's threatening to go 7-8 innings, 5 strikeouts, pretty hard to hit, like the right-handed Framber Valdez. He's in a rough spot. But what is going well for him in this spot is his elevated ground ball rate. If you can keep the ball on the ground against a Harper, against a Schwarber, guys like that, then that's going to give you a chance to keep your team in it. But this team is plus 180, which makes the Phillies minus 218. So it's not like many people are holding their breath for him to do that, and this lineup is pretty rough. So even though Sandy's coming off a rough patch, I think it is a strength of schedule blemish more than anything else. So I'm going to go, obviously, Phillies as the next on the interest ranking, but I think you get a little bit of Sandy on DK, just $8,100 for the talent versus what else is out there on that little slate. So let's go Sandy at I'm gonna give him that 22. I think peak Sandy can be a little less than 1 in 5 on the K rates. Walk rate for Sandy so far is really high. I don't think that's gonna sustain. I think some of those walks do turn into strikeouts, but until he can show otherwise, this is a patient team. So I'm gonna give him 11.5. Zach Wheeler on his walk rate, it's pretty good. Let's go 5% there. And then Wheeler's probably like 18.5 with money on the over, right? 18.5. Oh, money on the under. Okay, so we'll give him 18 flat, and then we'll give Sandy 17.5. There's a little juice on him to go the distance, but I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's give Sandy some juice here. So I think, without a doubt, the way 90% of the field is going to start their lineup on this slate, and I don't disagree, Reagan's Wheeler. And then how do you get different at 3,600 per? That's what you're working with. That gave me 7 strikeouts, 7.3 Ks for Wheeler. That's probably pretty in line with yeah, that's pretty in line with the actual market price, 7.5. Dude, you can demon them up to 10.5 if you're feeling nasty. All right, so let's set this for the early slate, and then as those lineups come out, we'll refresh that. So if you guys are premium members at MLB Grind, these tabs will be available for you shortly. Reagan's Wheeler, no shock. Stack rating. Stack has given us Philly. Then yeah, it gets bad. Usually the good stack ratings are like 5 and above. This is 4.86 and below. I mean, this is this is bad. Not what you want. What up, Lone Wolf? Yo, Wolf, I think I saw. Were you in Terry's Discord with a dub last night or the night before? Congrats. I love seeing that. Harper for you, yeah. Harper seems to be the guy that can lift ground ball pitchers to the air. Feel like, oh, you know what I need to do? I need to get the closer chart updated for today. Let me do that real quick. So many tabs. And then I guess we can look at the bomb detector for that site so far. Dude, there are so many tabs, dude. There it is, bullpen usage. Hey, yo. All right, we are all set for that. And then we'll go bomb detector. Guys, you guys that have been following my foster of the new dog, Daisy. I've been driving around town. Kyle Schwarber at the top? Why is that? With her. She loves my mom, but now she loves the backyard. She doesn't want to come in ever. All night. She just slept on the back porch. Every time I open that back door, she just stare at me. Like, could you shut the door? You're letting all the heat out. Whatever. You say so. I guess there's not a ton of sample size of Sandy versus lefties yet. And I think the bond detector is explaining that with a 0. So Schwarber and Bryce are up there because it's going to go off of like league average results, which a league average results right now is actually going to be an increase on what Sandy has so far. But Matt Mervis is a interesting name with a little sample size, ironically, in that tougher matchup. All right, so that's what we got so far on that. You have 18 tabs open on your laptop. Jesus. I don't know how people can have, not you specifically, but I think my boy Terry, dude, I'll be watching him. It feels like he only has one monitor. I don't know how anyone can even just have a computer these days on one monitor. Maybe that's my first world problem. I was running 3 monitors for a while, and then I kind of felt like I wasn't using one monitor that much, so I was just like, this might be a little too much. So my second monitor is a big vertical monitor, and I use that for, I'll stream here, I'll stream on Twitch. I use that for like chat monitors and Discord chats, Spotify, all that good stuff. Jason Dominguez. Well, this one's gonna test some analysis, huh? Raising the Yankees. Boy, that Aaron Judge is good, but that Ben Rice, that dude is going bananas, and it's not luck. He's got one of the most ridiculous baseball savant pages you'll ever see. Is it fully sustainable? I hope so. He is what Greg Bird should have been just years later. So the Yankees are floating on the back of this offense, and one of the issues that they've had is consistency out of Carlos Rodon. And today Rodon goes into the 85-degree single-A ballpark known as Steinbrenner Field, taking on a Rays team that is probably better against righties than lefties. That's a infactual statement. But this lineup does have 5 guys with at least above average WRC pluses against lefties, and I'm not actually sure what the lineup's going to look like. Right now I got Brandon Lau in it. We have seen the Rays, I think it was against Yusei Kikuchi, literally throw out all righties, and that might be something they do against Rodon here, but it's not really like Rodon, strikes out less. Matter of fact, it's not going to take a big clip of his strikeout stuff, but it will dip into his power allowed. For 3 years straight now, over a 1.7 aggregate home run per 9 to righties. Fly ball rates up there, and the walk rate so far has been up there. So Cash could certainly get petty. And then Drew Rasmussen, who I think is one of the more underrated pitchers probably in all of baseball when he's healthy. He faces a really menacing Yankees team that most people are afraid to pitch against anywhere, but understandably so, probably even more in this ballpark with these temperatures out there in Tampa. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a 1 on the weather grade, just to boost the stats a little bit. And then next, I don't really know how to rank this one out. I think we're gonna go my favorite play, if this was all things neutral, would be Rasmussen here. I think he's pretty good. He has a kind of a history, at least the last 2 seasons, of getting lefties out at a better clip in terms of strikeouts. But I'm gonna go Yankees, then Drew Rasmussen, and then it gets weird. Rays or Rodon seems a little bit like a coin flip. Rodon is the ultimate tournament play at that price, but I'm gonna go Rays over him at that spot. So it is a 4 corners. If I had to erase one, it's probably Rodon. But that's how I'm going with that. How's Rasmussen's pitch count looking lately? 80. So maybe he does have a little bit of a glass ceiling with 5 innings, which is probably good for the Yankees offense. So I would say Rasmussen DK. How about that? If that continues, yeah. And then obviously Rodon's DK. That's like Gunn needs an intervention. I can stop whenever I want. What a power. Terry has to have, yeah, I think Terry does. Dude, if we do Secret Santa and we get Terry, or I get Terry, I'm getting him a freaking monitor, dude. What up, Diego? What up, J. Cole? Uncle Ben, right? Rasmussen's good, just been injured a lot. Yeah, 100%. What up, EB? Go with your head, not your heart. Right, I mean, if y'all been watching my streams all year, I've been kind of on pitchers against the Yankees in the right spot. I don't think this is the right spot because of the park. I really don't. But even yesterday, I don't think the Yankees really popped off until late. It was a tie game until late. Or am I thinking about the last game in Yankee Stadium? No, Taj Bradley got rocked. It was the last game in Yankee Stadium where let's see. Yeah, they won 4-3. That was off that Freddie Bellinger diving catch. Where Chris Bubich, he gave up 3 earnings. They're still kind of hanging in there. They give up 7 hits, 4 walks. It's a tough team to pitch against. I don't want to do it. But he's in the blender on DK for sure. I don't know what this song is, but I'm skipping it. It's ridiculous. Like Goku in a blender. I don't know. Ben Rice is plus 480 for a homer and 135 for 2 bases. Terry could buy me a chair. Heck yeah. Hey man, chairs for the gun show a little bit pricier. But I'm also dude, I'm the worst at buying stuff I need. I will literally go out and buy like, I don't know, my dog $100 worth of toys before I go buy me a chair. Or give my nephew's V-Buck. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just don't buy stuff for me. I rock the same clothes all the time. Just was simple. All right, we're gonna do pitcher projections here. I'm gonna give Rodon a 28% overall K rate with a I'm gonna give him a 10% walk rate, dude. And then for Uncle Drew, we're gonna give him 28 and 6. Probably just gonna give him 15 outs if we're not seeing him go past 5. Rodon's kind of a coin flip at 17.5. And I'm gonna give Drew 15.5, but I think it's 15. That gives me 6.6 Ks for Rodon, 5.7 for Mr. Drew. What's the market? Drew is at 5.5, which is on the money. Rodon's at 6, which I do look at guys that have over half a point difference. It's hard to trust Mr. Rodon. It is. All right, we're busting open the torpedo water bottle. Boxers from Goodwill. Bold of you to assume I wear underwear. I don't know why I said it that creepy. Reds lineup came out. All right, cool. Moving on. Just in time. So far, there's nothing like here. I'm gonna say so far in these early games, nothing popping for something I want to go prop shopping on. Seems like all the strikeouts are appropriately priced, and those are guys I don't like to sweat anyway. And the tough part, I will say the lack of cores probably does maybe boost eyes on that game, but that's okay. Jose Trevino. Chat, who is your favorite player to watch that's not on your favorite team? Somebody asked me that yesterday. And I kind of gave the cop-out answer. First of all, my favorite player of all time that never played for the Yankees was Jose Fernandez. That dude was just electric to watch. But now, when you ask me who my favorite player to watch that's not on the Yankees, I feel like I don't have one. And it's usually just like I want to root for players that I like that were on the Yankees at one point. And it's like nobody's, right? It's like Jose Trevino, Tyler Wade, those types. And then there are some people that were on the Yankees that caused me so much stress that I kind of like, I'm low-key hating. I'm low-key loving when they fail. Looks at Aroldis Chapman when he says that. But that's a fun question. Who's your favorite player not on your team? And then like I used to love watching Soto. Now not so much. Kind of cool. See him struggle. Wind blowing to left. Orioles have a 5.2 run total, 4.1 on the Reds. Hey, Abbott. Andrew Abbott taking on Cade Povich. Come on, Pojan might be the only guy in the chat to get that one. Come on. Had to dig deep. Povich has a 20% K rate, 1.8 whip, 4.96 expected ERA. All that not good this year in small sample, not great last year in bigger sample. Moral of the story is we're not playing Povich. You are not the pitcher. That's Amari Povich. Dude, we're like on one right now. We're gonna put Orioles, then Reds. Abbott, really good start from him in his last outing. Somehow 26% K rate with a 5% swinging strike rate, barrel rate through the roof. Orioles against a lefty. Yes, please. This is a dangerous lineup in WRC plus. And I'm not sure exactly what the lineup's gonna look like, but there's not really a bad lineup that can come out with this roster. So with their 5.2 implied run total, it makes a ton of sense. No pitchers for me here. Let's go push some projections out. I'm gonna go 18 and 18, and I think that's being generous to both sides. Maybe I can give Povich a little bit more, but I'm gonna stick at 18 for now. And then walk rates, I'm gonna give him 8 and 6. Abbott 8, 6, and then what is the line? 15 and a half. Yeah, it's just no matter what, we're not getting to those guys. 15, bam. Jesus, Seager, you like Seager? Yeah, I can get down with that. Acuna. All right. Corbin Carroll is becoming that guy for me. Ellie De La Cruz, then Corbin. Yeah. Skeens is an artist. I can get down with that. Everyone wishes their team had Churio. Yep. Young guy that's like blazing. I think Ben Rice might be that guy so far. Tyler Soderstrom is starting to be that guy, and he might be on the market. I don't know how Oakland, or I don't know what to call them. Historically, they don't treat their good players pretty well for long. Was that a Goonies quote? No, that was a Abbott and Costello reference. You guys don't know Abbott and Costello? Come on. Who's on first? Oh, what are you asking me for? Mountcastle's plus 625 to homer. Hayes 600. Okay, all right. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Abbott so far, incredible power allowed to righties. does walk righties at a high clip, extremely high fly ball rate. You might dip into their bullpen usage lately, but I can't imagine we're going to get too scared of anything. Emilio Pagan, has he ever pitched back-to-back days so far? They just might not have had back-to-back save opportunities. Dude, they went in that pen a lot the last 2 days. And Alexis Diaz, I think that's Edwin Diaz's little brother. Yeah, I'm not running from that. Carson Kelly with the first homer of the day. Ricky Henderson, all right. Billy Hamilton. I was gonna say, who's your favorite team that's not your favorite team? You know what I mean? For a couple years back, it was the D-backs. It still might kind of be the D-backs, right? The D-backs are just like fun to root for. Their ownership never makes you like angry for their fan base. Like they're putting up a fight in a division with the Dodgers and the Padres. They're not laying it down. They've made it to the World Series lately. They're active. And they got a fun fan base. You never really just hear bad things about the D-backs. And years back, they had especially that team that was against lefties, man. When the Yankee games were over, and we were sweating West Coast before the humidor, man, that was just my team, dude. It was still bags. And then I don't know, just the broadcast, I like them. I guess that's what I'm trying to get across. And you just don't hear, or you don't see them complaining. I don't know. So favorite team that's not your favorite team. I think I'd have to go D-backs long term. That might be a stadium mission for me, is go check out D-backs game in Chase Field. That field seems fun. Go jump in the pool. Bowden Francis throwing baseballs for the Blue Jays. He's up against Brian. Woo! He had his start pushed back. And unfortunately for him, this is not as porous of an offense and strikeout prone of an offense as the Cincinnati Reds were. Matter of fact, it almost could not get any worse. The Blue Jays so far this season against righties, the lowest K rate in baseball, 17.9%. But they're not accompanying that with like a ton of power. 7th in team ISO, and somehow 3rd in BABIP. So 2nd in batting average. That makes sense. 117 WRC plus. So basically what we're saying is this is not a great spot for Mr. Woo. So if you're playing him here, you're kind of betting on talent. And I think his talent, especially his 50% aggregate ground ball rate the last 3 years to righties, is enough to like stifle this stack and make it super unappealing, at least in large quantities. But man, this team is like really, really hard to extrapolate upside, and you're getting 10K price point on Fanduel, 9,200 on DK. It's a tough spot. So I'm not really running to Woo, but I think to fill out a portfolio on DraftKings, I think the talent is there, obviously. And then if we're looking at what could really be a problem for Woo as far as giving up some earnings, has a lot of power to lefties, high fly ball rate, high line drive rate the last 3 years, high xFIP. Santander, Andres Jimenez, probably two guys I'm looking at, particularly Santander, 128 WRC plus against righties since the beginning of last year. And that's how we spin that one. Bowden Francis, a 1-5 K rate essentially with a 6.01 expected ERA. Kind of expect that to catch up to his expected ERA the last couple of seasons. Barrel rates elevated as well. Neither pitching option here looks particularly incredible, but Francis is also kind of like a stack killer, allowing a low average. He's the inverse though, a high fly ball rate, high hard contact rate, but a low average. So looks like, even though it is allowing a high barrel rate, is he like heavy on infield fly balls, like pop-ups? Let's go check it out. That is my favorite New York Yankees for sure. For any bit, dude, that is crazy. That's actually crazy. The Yankees are like, I've always known you either are a Yankees fan or you want them to fall off the face of the earth. I've never heard someone like root for the Yankees behind closed doors. I appreciate that. That's incredible. David Smith got a single, just another hit. Let's go. Infield fly ball, yeah, 20% to righties so far, 7% to lefties. So he is giving up barrels, but he's also kind of stifling his fly ball rate a little bit. Interesting. Very interesting. Just out of curiosity, let's pull up his. He's not allowing a lot of. It's kind of weird. High barrel rate, but not like. Yeah, I guess. He's bottom 10 in maximum EV. Average exit velo is linear to his last 2 years. Expected slug is pretty rough. Something's gonna come crashing down here, yeah? This BABIP's probably stupid. BABIP 100 to lefties. Jesus. All right, but I mean, that's kind of like we say the word unsustainable for such a low BABIP, but that's kind of who he is. Last year, sub 200. That's kind of who he is, man. Lived next to Shea City Field my whole life, and I appreciate this iteration of the Yanks. I'll say the Yankees, a lot of their cliche hateness is from the Steinbrenner years, where they would buy championships with steroided players, where today their stars are homegrown. Aaron Judge drafted and developed. I guess they bought Garrett Cole, sure, but I mean, every team's gonna have to make some free agency moves, but these are a lot of. Volpe was a Jason Dominguez. These are all guys that were untouchable throughout the system and kind of developed, and the Yankees don't have the largest payroll, so they're still up there, so they're not spending money, but it's not like they're buying players from other teams. Heck, I don't think we've gotten a free agent bidding war since Garrett Cole. And Garrett Cole's the only one I can think of in a long time. We didn't even call Bryce Harper, Manny Machado. The only stars we've been getting are from trades, like Giancarlo, like Juan Soto, Josh Donaldson. Jesus. So I don't know. I think what people used to hate the Yankees for, they don't really do that anymore. Let's go Brian Wu. Let's give him a 23% K rate. Kind of taxed him for last year. 23 and 5. 23 and me. Odin Francis. Let's give him a 22 with a 9.5 walk rate. Polanco Raleigh substacking a bit. Yo, Raleigh is tearing the cover off the ball right now. Verdugo leading off for the Braves. Ozuna's back. Oh, that's good for them. I don't really know how to. Yeah. I guess we'd go substacks before substack. If you're a lefty against Bowden, you're probably either going to fly out or homer. So I'm going to go Substack, Mariners. Honestly, just all of them. And Randy Arozarena, I've been watching a lot of Mariners games lately. If he gets on, he's been a steal threat. And he's been getting on pretty efficiently. But then the lineup falls off a cliff. I mean, the whistling noise and everything. I guess Luke Raley is a little glimmer of hope here. I think the Mariners stack could be in play. But it's literally 1 through 5. So we'll go Mariners. We'll go Blue Jays. I want to give Woo some love here. I think he's overpriced in a bad matchup. That Fanduel price seems really rough. What did the projections spit me? Oh, I gotta give him some outs, huh? Dude, they gave Woo an 18.5 out. And of course, it's slamming the under, but let's go 18 and 18. This just could be 2 stack killers that don't drop 30 on each other. I'll give them both 1 point towards the QS. Maybe 2 for Bowden, 1 for Francis. I'll give him 1 because he's not at 18. Is he? Yeah, he is. Let's go 1.5. Whatever. The Dodgers are the new Yankees. Dude, the Dodgers, yeah, they are, but like they're still so likable, man. I don't know, dude. You just don't have those scumbag heel players these days. Like Josh Donaldson, you hated that son of a gun. Some of those pitchers back in the day, you hate them. How do you hate Ohtani? How do you hate Freddie Freeman? How do you Mookie Betts, bro? That guy, when that crap happened in Yankee Stadium last year, dude, the stadium thought they were gonna kill the fans. Like they're doing it with some classy people, and that's the part that's annoying. Heck, the people, a lot of the players I hate the most, one of the players I hate the most in the league is on my gosh dang team. White Sox and the Red Sox battle the Sox out there in Fenway. This one's looking like it's going to generate another bit of ownership. Why did I just treat him like a Edgar Quero? I don't know. Who's the most hated guys in baseball today? I feel like players have been kind of tame lately. Maybe it's because there's not like, and even the guys that are getting popped for like steroids, they're just like, I guess, not denying it. Like back in the day when you'd catch people doing steroids, they're like, no, I didn't. Now they're just like, oh, my trainer gave me a supplement, I didn't know what it was, I just put this pill inside my body, my bad, I'm trying to have a child, so I'm taking tea or something, you know what I mean? Like, you're just like, okay, well, that's a good excuse. He's lying, but it's a good excuse. I guess it's just got to be people with domestic assaults, and even those guys aren't getting kicked out of the league. The ones that are, like Trevor Bauer, I don't know. Chase my Droth. All right, we got Martin Perez, southpaw, taking on Hunter Dobbins, and I believe Dobbins is a gas guy, I think. Let's see. Blanco's crushing, yeah. Can't hit Kershaw, yeah. Yeah, Kershaw's every year when it like collapses in the playoffs, my heart breaks. I'm just like, dude, come on. That's one of the greatest pitchers. That's a Hall of Famer right there. And you're like, yeah, but for a month every year, he sucks. I'm like, that's all right. It's going against the best teams in the league, sure. 95 mile an hour average velocity on his fastball. He's a 5-pitch pitcher, really? Dude, I need this guy in the show. Holy. Sub 500. expected slug. Let's see, Hunter Dobbins. Oh, Altuve. Yeah, F that bum, actually. You're right. All my homies hate Altuve. And I don't really care for Bregman and Springer. I really didn't care for Carlos Correa. But they kind of been keeping their mouths shut, so they kind of just like, you know what I mean, get lost in the sauce. 11.1. We got 5 Ks and 6.1 innings last year. 4 and 5. We got a lot of homers allowed, actually. 4 and 11, both sides of the plate. Small samples. Let's go to last year. Jose Urania, dude. Same thing with the Royals pitcher that passed away. Was it Jordan Ventura? Him and Machado were like going at it a lot, and he kind of had a little rep, but then he passed away, and you gotta like respect the dead, right? 64 innings against lefties last year, 60 Ks, two homers, so much better last year in the homers. 60.2 innings against righties, no homers, 60 Ks. So it looks like decent strikeout pedigree, low average. The whip to lefties is elevated because of a higher average, a little bit of walks. Who was the lefty on the Reds a couple years ago that had a little pizzazz? I feel like I haven't heard his name in a while. The brother that was trying to fight, I think, the whole Pittsburgh team. I want to say start with an A or something. Man, what do we do here? Don't get me pitching against the White Sox, man. This is literally my kryptonite. All right, first and foremost, Red Sox stack. Sure. Dobbins is like kinda. I just have a. That's my 13th reason. This is pitching against the freaking White Sox, dude. 5 Ks, 8 hits, 2 walks. So he had 10 guys trafficking. Amir Garrett, there we go. What happened to him? He's still in the league? I feel like he was like on the Royals or some random team. Got some Dobbins. I'm thinking 6,900 is a nice price. Yeah, okay. All right. Jesus. All right, so I mean, White Sox and Fenway, I even the park, I don't love it, but I guess if you wanted to grab a couple of lower owned one-offs, like maybe a Maton Robert, Benintendi, just to attack some stuff. But I'm going Red Sox and Dobbins. What's the weather out there like? Actually, we have a confirmed lineup for the White Sox. So since we're here, Chase Mydroth, Andrew Benintendi batting second. Little revenge narrative there. Okay, this lineup is way different. Still kind of sucks, but 1 through 5 projects a little bit better in the K department. Toronto, okay. Martin Perez, I'm gonna give him a 20% K rate. This 27 feels fake, dude, right? And we have 17 innings now. The only reason I'm carrying, because I don't want to put the wrong number. I feel like we gotta give him what he deserves. But there's this game with a 4% swinging strike rate. That had a 13 against Boston at a 52% first pitch strike. All right, I'll give him a boost to like 22. Even that feels a little fluffy. And for Dobbins, I'll also give him 22. Walk rate for Martin, 17% against righties. I'm gonna give him a 10. Dobbins, I'm gonna give him both 10s. Little Fenway taxing. And then do we have outs here? 15.5. So 15 on both. Dobbins is only at 15. It doesn't really matter. Ref Snyder, Story, Bregman, if he plays. Dad narrative for the narrative. They all are new babies. The heck were they doing 9 months ago? I mean, never mind. We know, but let's get this Blue Jays lineup squeaked out. Yeah. Bo Bichette, Vladdy, Santander, Jimenez, Springer, Addison, Barger, Alejandro Kirk, Will Wagner, Alan Roden. Not much different. I think it's one difference. Bregman's in the confirmed lineup crease, so I guess he's back. He's ready to go. Cardinals also have a confirmed lineup. Oh, chat, YouTube hit me up with I think they basically pre-approved me for the monetization thing. I don't know. I felt like I still had 1,000 watch hours to go. But also, like, the page made it seem like all I had to do was apply, so it's in the pending stage, and I feel like we'll be good to go. So, yay, we did it! I appreciate it. It took us a month, right? Less than a month to get back in the revenue streets. So, could have done it without you guys listening to me ramble to myself about baseball. It's great. And I'm not sure, like, I don't know, obviously it'll open up like YouTube's like paid subscriptions and stuff like they used to have. I don't really know that I would. All right, I don't have anything planned right now for like a sub perk, but it's coming. At least the ad revenue, that's what we're looking for. 4.6 run total for the Mets, 3.6 on the Cardinals. Wind blowing out the left center out there in Citi Field. Wind blowing out to left center. We got David Peterson with a 4.47 expected ERA. That's pretty in line with the last 3 years. His ERA in the last 2 years has overperformed that. Elevated whip, a lot of walks to righties, and that has been a constant. By the way, both these lineups are confirmed. And this is a Cardinals lineup that feels patient enough, but let's go split it. Split it. Yeah, St. Louis has the third lowest K rate to Southpaws so far this season, and you kind of see why. But if you expand on that to the beginning of last year, you do get a little bit more strikeouts. And you get some guys that just don't have enough sample size in the big leagues. You get a lot of red in the WRC plus column with just Luken Baker and Wilson Contreras being the bright spots here. So maybe the overall season stats are not necessarily representing the current roster as much as that tab is, right? So what do we do with that information? Well, no matter what, Peterson does struggle to strike out righties anyway. Are they really leading off a lefty against a lefty? You don't really see that much. Usually the top 1 and 2 will be interchangeable, or you just completely platoon or swap out bottom lineup. But they're doing that. So basically, like, here's a free, like, this actually doesn't make any sense. Here's our lefty that has a 211 average, a 33% K rate, a 62 WRC plus. We're going to lead him off against your 40% K rate, 80% ground ball rate. What? Leadoff dong incoming. Miles Michaelis, a contact inning hitter. We're going offenses here. Michaelis, we can kind of look at some of his lefty splits. High hard contact rate the last 3 years. Low ground ball rate so far this season. High line drive rate going back to the beginning of last year. 0 homers allowed. That feels like that could change today with this jet stream. And then I guess Soto swinging a better stick as of late. So we're going to go Mets top of the interest ranking. I don't really see it there for Peterson because of his inefficient K rate to righties, but he does have a decent enough ground ball rate. But right now I'm just thinking Mets. Let's go spit some projections out. Michaelis, we're gonna give him a 17% K rate. For Peterson, we're gonna give him a I'm gonna go 22 because a lot of it is inflated with the lefty splits, and then walk rate for Michaelis is gonna be, I'm gonna go 8. I know it says he got 11% so far. I feel like that's just not who he is. Why did I just see Donald Trump? What was that about? Walk rate for Peterson, a lot of righty walks. I'm gonna kind of tax him with just 3 lefties, so I'm gonna give him that 10%. 10%. 17 and a half and 15. Oh my god, 156 innings. He's dead. Naylor single, just need one more, dude. That's what you expected out of that game. A lot of singles. All right, right now I just got Mets here. I don't know if you guys have a different feeling in your bad knee with the storm coming in, but that's how we're gonna run that out right now. Let's move it on where the Braves and Twins are playing some baseball. Jesus. Speaking of Carlos Correa. Okay, what am I doing? I'm losing it. Bryce Elder is throwing baseballs for the Braves. He will be twirling up against Chris Paddock. You heard me. I'm a pad addict. I'm addicted to throwing homers when punks start static. I don't know. Mom, Dad's referencing Limp Bizkit again. Let me live my life, Eileen. I don't know what's going on. Freaking Eileen. This is always doing that. Bryce Elder. So far this season, 16% K rate. Not what you want. 1.4 whip. Not what you want. 5.36 expected ERA. All this, not good. It's actually just not. So we're going to go offenses here. The Twins have just a 3.8 run total against all of those aforementioned stats. Why? 81 degrees, low wind blowing in. I get it. 4.4 here run total for the Braves. This game feels like it should have more runs here. You get Ozuna back. I don't know, man. This feels like a sneaky shootout spot. Yeah. What's the Braves bullpen looking like? Like, what am I missing? I guess the Twins have just been kind of rough. All the front end, back end, everyone's available for the Braves. So maybe they do chop it in half a little bit, but Raisel Iglesias has not been good so far. 4.5 ERA. Pierce Johnson, not only does that fucking hurt so much, he's got a bad track record so far this season. Bummer. Like, this is not an elite bullpen so far. Like, they've been got, you know. I don't know, man. Kind of digging the offenses here. That's kind of what I'm at. So we're going to go Braves. We're going to go Twins. I can't see myself pitching either pitcher. Chris Paddock, 15% K rate so far. A 186 whip. By the way, this whip is not showing correctly. Let's go conditional formatting. All I'm saying is these should be red, not green. All right. I'd probably, yeah, I don't know, man. So this feels like a yes run first inning, yeah? Is that even on the board? It is. First pick of the day. Yes run first inning. Elder is much worse against lefties and righties, I guess. Maybe that's the spin here. 146 xFIP to righties, 2.8 to righties, I guess. That's the neutralizer to Bucky and Correa. His great ground ball rate. Maybe that's the spin here that I'm missing. But he does struggle mightily against lefties. So if I was the Twins. Yeah, okay. All right. I don't know. We'll play it like that, though. Braves pique my interest the most here. Let's go Paddock with a... I'll give him a 17% just to do it. Elder, I'll give him a 17% as well. Walk rates, Jesus, Paddock, what are we doing, brother? I'm gonna go 12%. Elder, I'm gonna go 7. Smooth 7. What's our outs? 16 and 15. 16 for Elder. Got Paddock and Psycho as my 2 pitchers. Huh? What? Hey man, if you're playing Chris Paddock tonight, don't come back here complaining about not having cannabis and snack money. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying. Yeah, that's you know, that's how we do that. All right, let's move on to a really interesting game out there in Globe Life, Arlington. Yoshi Yamamoto taking on Jacob deGrom. Will Smith, yeah, speaking of Will Smith's been popping up in my TikToks and stuff lately. Are we over being fake mad at Will Smith for slapping Chris Rock? Because that man is awesome. When I think of greatest actors of all time, it's like Denzel. I think Tom Hanks is underrated because his range is crazy. Like, he doesn't play the same character in every movie, but man, let's not forget Will Smith, man. So I would love to see that be forgiven. Usually guys that are villainized long enough end up being the hero again, and then guys that are the hero forever end up getting canceled for no reason. But Will Smith has been really good with the TikToks lately. Just saying. DeGrom versus Yamamoto. The Dodgers have a 4.3 run total. The Rangers a 3.8. Let's see if this random Twitter account has reported roof will be closed tonight. All right. Washington, Colorado. Yeah, that got postponed before we went live. $5,000 winner take all on Discord. His record only sold 260 units in this UK. God dang. I didn't know he was promoting a record. I guess, yeah, all of his TikToks have been a song. DeGrom, really, really good. We've seen his pitch count up to 87 so far. Hasn't gone through 6. 8,500 though is enough risk reward for that K rate, but man, the risk is at a season high against this Dodgers team. So he might be a stat killer, and then you're paying 6,400 for somebody against Jacob DeGrom. That just feels crazy, right? This is a wide range of outcome type of spot. I think the first thing I'm gonna be interested in is probably Yoshi Yamamoto. Who has done a great job of getting to 6 innings in the last 2 games against high octane offenses, especially the Cubs. So I think we'll give him that, the first place in that interest ranking. I think DeGrom on DK, sure. Likely not giving us a shot at that quality start. Likely, it's possible, but probably not. And then I'm thinking we're going, I think you can get away with a Dodger stack, but if you felt more comfortable with a 2-man or 3-man, sure. Man, Ohtani versus DeGrom, it feels like a must-watch situation. And then that's kind of where I'm at there. Will Smith in 7 pounds deserves an Oscar. Dude, Will Smith, there's so many different, like, his range is crazy too. I feel like all the great actors are getting canceled too. Tom Hanks was linked to some sus stuff, and I never really heard him comment on it. But man, that guy's range is nuts. Yamamoto, let's give him a 30% K rate with a 7% walk rate. And then Mr. DeGrom, it's just a 20% K rate so far. I think we've realized higher because his swing and strike rate's great. He's not throwing as much strikes though. We're seeing that in a 13.5% walk rate to lefties. So we kind of got to give DeGrom, or I think I'm giving DeGrom the benefit of the doubt there. So I'm at least giving 25 and 8. And then DeGrom probably gonna smooth 15 innings him, and then I think we're going Yamamoto 18. So I would assume the line is 17.5 money on the over, yep, and 15.5 coin flip, yep, makes sense. So with that said, I'm gonna give Yamamoto 2 points towards a quality start on Fanduel, and that's all I got to say about that. I got 5 strikeouts for DeGrom with the 25% K rate. How different is that? His line is 6. I'm not gonna bet the under on 6 strikeouts for Jacob DeGrom ever, but giving him just a 25 because I think it's fair to give him a 30. But I'm just kind of doing it this way. I don't really care about the Chris Rock. I more so hate how Will Smith handled his wife's shenanigans through the years. Yeah, you can see pain in his eyes in certain moments, right? I don't want to get off track, but I can at least empathize. He's handled some stuff way different than I would, but who am I to, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to appreciate the art. It sucks these days. I want to say it sucks, but the spotlight with social media and the super highway of information is so much harder for heroes and celebrities to be humans than it was a long time ago. Like Elvis, come on, dog. Elvis would have got canceled so fast, and just so much of what used to go down. But there wasn't no cell phones, no easy, cameras, blah blah blah. And I kind of ran across this the other day. Probably my most played artist on Spotify, wherever I'm at. I'm either on a Shabuzi playlist or Morgan Wallen, dude. I love Morgan Wallen's music. It's just, I do. And I was listening the other day, and this dude was like, I can't listen to his music because he's not a good person and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, man, don't do that to me. Come on. Don't judge me for just listening to it. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm jamming R. Kelly or Kanye. I was like, man. And then I'm like, yeah, Morgan Wallen's effing up. And the same with these actors. They start effing up, and it blemishes their legacy, and it's just like such an unfair standard. If you could be true with yourself and reflect on your personal issues and mistakes. But these guys gotta live up to that standard. It's a lot of stress. Minute Maid Park. Anybody got a tell on the roof out there? I'm looking for it. I don't even know where to find it. Oh, it's called Dakin Park? No, right? I'm trying to see if the roof is open. The Twitter consoles. Anyway. Tool? Dude, that song Schism is so long. I used to know a radio DJ when I was younger. He was like, whenever he had to go to the bathroom or just needed a break, he would just put on Schism by Tool and come back in 10 minutes. All right, Kyle Hart throwing baseballs for the Padres. So far, 17% K rate for him. Gusto, a 32% K rate for him. Padres, as we've been kind of like looking at, are not a strikeout team. 18.6% K rate so far this season. This projected lineup, less than 17% aggregate K rate against righties since the beginning of last year. So really going to put that 30% K rate to the test. And then a really high xFIP to lefty so far in small sample. And this Padres lineup could come out half lefty. So it's going to kind of taper my expectations for him. The Astros have a really high run total against Kyle Hart and his poor metrics in small sample. Let's widen that up a little bit and refresh our memory on Kyle Hart's minor league stuff. I need a ghost energy stat. Roof might be open or slice. Yeah. Oh, we don't have any. Wait, the Kyle Hart like pitching the KBO or something? Where are you at, Kyle? Chandler Simpson. Wings for fastest man in baseball. Uh-oh. We got a little Terrence Gore. He did pitch in the KBO, that's right. 10-4-3 K-per on the KBO, which doesn't mean a ton to me in America. Because a lot of our most average to below average pitchers are Nolan Ryan over there. So I'm just gonna trust the lines here. I'm gonna go Astros. He did say that the bullpen is pretty rested, yeah. Yeah, they are. They're really rested. So yeah, depending on the scoreboard, might get some good arms coming out. No real weakness in that bullpen at all. Logan Gillespie is a long reliever if he gets shelled, but yeah. All right. What do we do with Gusto? Anything? Just feels like a low upside spot. But are we running to stack the pods, you know? Last year, 62.1 innings against the lefties, 245 average, 6 homers. That's a lot of homers. Not really. 84 and 8. So just like an average amount of homers. Strikeouts are meh. A little bit of strikeout stuff, like 1 in 5, yeah. So maybe this 30% K rate is due for regression anyway, and it likely happens here. I'm thinking Astros, and then you could like bank on some Padres sub stacks with a guaranteed 9 innings. So we'll do that. That's how we'll play it. Pick my heart, don't break it. All right, Calhart, I'm gonna give you that 20. I'm gonna give you that 20. Gusto, I'm gonna give you that 24, even though I feel like you don't deserve it. And then for the walk rate for Hart, I'm gonna give him the 8.5. Then Gusto, me gusto. That's the freaking sound effects, bro. Some me gusta. I think we're going 15 to 15. What would my line be? 14. Yeah, they got him at 15. I don't really have a line on Hart. I'm gonna go 14 on Hart. 14 and a half. Yeah. Yeah. 60 you guys hanging out right now. 36 likes, man. Anybody else haven't hit that thumbs up yet? You might want to get that going. Would appreciate the love. We work for likes. The athletics. Nah, okay. I tried something. I failed. They're not all gonna be good. Man, this athletics offense is something. We even put him in poor hitting conditions with poor hitting weather, and they were like, hold my beer. And not only did we do that, Vegas gave like, I think I saw Brent Rooker homer in like the 8th or 9th inning yesterday, and he was like less than plus 300. I was like, man, this team's got something. But what they don't got is pitching. So what they should probably do is send Soderstrom to the Yankees. I mean, for being honest. We'll give them cash considerations, you know? Nah, this dude's a beast, though. He's looking really, really good. Freddie Peralta gonna test his gangster. Athletics with a 3.4 run total. Brewers 4.3 out there in Miller. What did I just click? How do we play this? Athletics are coming in hot. They don't do the most, but they do a lot. 100 plus WRC plus in the 1 through 5, 140 aggregate plus in the 1 through 3 projected. Freddie Peralta, though, a 30% K rate, sub 1 whip so far this season with a 2.47 expected ERA. And Peralta has pitched against some good teams, yeah. At Coors, at Yankees, a low strikeout Royals team, a high octane offense Arizona, and he was able to walk through 5+ innings in each outing, and 6+ Ks in each outing. There are some walks there, absolutely. Couple homers, mainly from opening day, and then one in Coors. So it is maybe unstoppable force and movable object a little bit, but for the most part, I think you got to give Peralta his due diligence. He's proved himself, right? So not saying he's matchup proof, but he has been tested and he's looked just fine to be an option tonight in DFS. And then letting Vegas tell the story, a 3.4 run total for the Athletics. You know, they're giving him some love too. So I'm in on Peralta. If we worry about the Lawrence Butlers, the Soderstroms, and is Brent Rooker not playing? I feel like you would not just leave him out of the lineup. I got him in his projected, but I don't know if I'm buying that. Oh no, I do. Second place, second in the order. Whatever. 1, 2, 3 is your issues, but they can all strike out. So how do we perform against lefties? He's had a sub 1 homer per 9 against lefties the last couple of years. The walk rate's alarming. So it is what it is. And then we know this Brewers bullpen has had a couple of meltdowns, but it looks like they are all fully rested. We might get into the good before the bad. I say fully rested. They're off a 1-day rest, which is usually enough for a reset button. And then JT again on the bump for the Athletics. 26% K rate through his 5.1 innings this season. 34 innings last season was a 1-5 K rate. He is got an extreme split situation going on in a small sample. So let's see if we can't elongate on that. Dip into last year at the minor league level. Soderstrom leaving. Yeah, Soderstrom was a problem so far. 56.2 innings against the lefties, 293 average with 10 homers. Yikes. 78 innings against righties, 259 with 7 homers, a little bit more normal. 77 Ks. So at the minor league level, a little bit of a walk issue too against that. Yo, he really struggles with lefties, and that's exactly what we're seeing so far at the major league level. Christian Yelich should homer if he doesn't get walked. All right, we're gonna go Brewers here, and then it's not like he was super elite against righties, right? Less than a K, or one less than a K per, 259 average. The ground out to air out is pretty good though. But yeah, we're gonna go Brewers, and then we're gonna do JT again at a. I'm gonna give him a 22% K rate. I'm not buying that. And then we'll go 29 for. Actually, I'll just straight up give Freddie 30. Walk right on Ginn. I'm gonna go 9.5. Walk right on Freddie Peralta. I'm gonna go 9. All right, Ginn's probably gonna be 15, but Peralta at 18, right? Yep, 18, 15. On the money. 18. I'm gonna give Peralta 2 points towards a quality start. Now, yes, you're right. The Athletics are tough, man. They are not striking out against righties a lot. I wish I had a more streamlined way to look at the opposing starters, but I gotta say, I feel like, and this is just me, I feel like we haven't seen them go against 30% pitch or 30% carry pitching much, you know. But I can't off the top of my head say that that's anything but like a feeling. Yeah, let's see. Athletics schedule. I mean, the Mariners, I guess, would certainly be a great pitching staff if they caught the right ones. The Cubs, the Rockies, the Padres, Michael King. Yeah, Michael King gets strikeouts, and he only got 2 against them. Let's see who the Mets throw at him. I guess that's one way to. Griffin Canning got 3. All right, I guess this is a more fair way. This is a faster way, I guess. Mariners. Logan Gilbert got 8 strikeouts on opening day. Brian Wu 5. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not saying that they're gonna be the strikeout team of the millennium, but it does feel like their strength of schedule has been a little bit. I don't say strength of schedule, but it doesn't feel like they've faced a ton of artists on the bump, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, who do we think the best pitcher that they've faced is this so far? Like, I think after tonight, pre-flop, it's. I mean, they got a Randy Vasquez game. I would. Dylan Cease got bopped, I guess. 1-4. I mean, he got a strikeout per inning, but he also got bopped there. So yeah, Dylan Cease is probably the best pitcher that they faced, and they got to him. So definitely, I'm not looking to discredit him. I'm wondering if we pull back on that. Dollander got 6-5. I'm on the fence. Gilbert, the best. How did Gilbert do? He's King Wu. Yeah. All right. Let's go with that. They gave me 6.25 on Peralta K's, which is not crazy. A 1-5 K rate. Cool. A 1-5. Jesus. Where we at here? We only got one game left. So what we'll do a plug for the website. Then we'll do the last game. Then we'll go back, sweep all the lineups, and then if you guys got questions, comments, concerns, prop picks, anything you want to look at, we'll do that. So if you are peeping out the stream for the first time, hey, hit that sub button, hit that like button. If you want to know what we do, well, usually every stream that I do, whether it be night or day, I'm filling out this spreadsheet, which is the research aid that I've developed and cultivated and evolved over the last decade, and it is my way to expeditiously present the slate to anyone looking to play for DFS and now for prop betting. And it also comes with me handcrafting pitcher projections. And then, of course, we have the world famous bomb detector. We got pitcher projections. We got stack ratings. And we'll be running our main slate pitcher projections and stack ratings in just a second. And then, of course, DK and Fanduel projections. And then we are looking to build out some other tools. So if you guys are looking for a cool way to support the stream, support the site, and get a little something in return, to help out your research, go to MLBgrind.com, click premium membership. All right, week pass, month pass, lock in for the season, whatever it is. It's a cool way to get these tools added. All right, main event tonight. Since we don't have Coors, 9:38 seems like such a weird start time. Tyler Anderson's got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Pitching for the Angels, he'll be up against Logan Webb. Angels have had an interesting couple of days where I finally buy in. I finally invest in some Angels stock, and I get Patrick Corbin, Spider Corbin. Did you guys see that story? Shuts them down, and then Kumar Rocker essentially finally gets the game that kind of we knew was in him, and let's see if it sustains. But it's like the Angels are struggling to stay consistent here. I still think they're good. I still think they're fun. But man, I got hashtag baseball in that Texas series. I'll tell you what. All right, Tyler Anderson, the Southpaw, has a 23% K rate on the season, 3.82 expected ERA, and an alarming 13% barrel rate. He'll be up against a Giants team that has seen some Southpaws in the last week and has put up some runs in the last week. And they are out there in Anaheim. Ironically, the game in California, is this the coldest game on the slate at 60 degrees? It looks like it is. I guess Citi Field has in the 50s, and a lot of these other stadiums that are colder have a roof. So, not that hot out there in Cali. Somehow they're not in this. Seems like freaking countrywide heatness. So right off the rip though, we're gonna go Logan Webb at the top of our interest ranking. 28% K rate so far this season, 1.13 whip, 3.35 expected ERA, with 20% call strike, which has been so consistent in the last couple of years. So adding a little bit of ability to miss a bat or two, and still throw strikes and keep the ball on the ground at an extremely high clip. Has not had over a 1 homer per 9 to either side of the plate in really 2 years. And the last time he did it was was 2023, and it was barely over a 1. So this is a hard guy to send baseballs over the wall, and it's not like we are juicing up the elements here to make it even more likely. So Logan Webb at the top of my interest chart, and on top of that, this projected Angels lineup has just 2 hitters, Luis Rengifo and Nolan Shanuel, with a aggregate K rate, or with a K rate under 16%. The rest of the team aggregates almost a 28%. Overall, we're getting a 25%. So this seems like a really good spot. All things considered, the checklist, 3.7 run total, high K rate team, just pristine numbers. Logan Webb has to top the interest ranking for this single game breakdown. And then Tyler Anderson, not somebody that we feel like we want to get to. So we have to look at the Giants. Elliot Ramos has been fine. Tyler Fitzgerald, our boy Rich, he's been all over Fitzgerald. You look at Fitzgerald this season, last year, since the beginning of last year, 323 average against lefties, a 946 OPS, 162 WRC plus. He's really good, especially in this split. We did see him move up in the lineup a little bit yesterday. I almost don't care where he is in the lineup today because of them being the road team. But he is triple position eligibility on DraftKings, shortstop, second base, outfield. And if he does catch a promotion in the lineup, he's looking pretty good. So I actually do think I'm going to get behind some of these Giants here. And then, of course, if you play Mike Trout, who am I to tell you no? Not gonna talk you down from that ledge. And that's how we split this one up. Yeah, you're out. MLB needs to investigate new ways to get spider attack. What up, Choke Hold'em? Giants are really solid offense. We take them out of that park 100%. Yeah, that is one of the most insane stories. And if you guys missed it, Jake shared it with me. I'll put it on the main screen. After the Corbin elite game against the Angels, Bruce Bochy said, "We weren't even sure if he was going to pitch. He had a bite. He could hardly walk when he came into the clubhouse. Some kind of venom got in there. Not sure if it was a spider or what. He was 50-50 on whether he would make the start or not." And Corbin said, "Something bit me. I don't know what." They were kind of able to kind of work it out and just kind of maintain it throughout the day, but it's pretty sore still. Just kind of something that's really strange. I was just fortunate to get through yesterday, and I have some time to recover and be good to go. Homie, what? Bro, this is how superheroes get created. What? You just what? So Patrick Corbin basically has the game of his life ever since leaving Arizona. After getting bit. This is like I don't know, David Wells throwing a perfect game while being hungover or drunk. I don't know. Let's go 28% carry on Mr. Webb. For Anderson, let's go 22.5. Walk rate on Webb is pristine. No, it's not. Let's give him 7. Yeah, let's give him 7. And then Tyler, we're gonna give him 6. Let's give him 12. All right, Logan, I'm assuming it's gonna be at 18. It is, and then Tyler Anderson is at 16.5. So 18, 16.5, and I'm gonna give Webb 2 points towards a QS. I think they'll move him up after that Philly game. It's one of our 4 bet. Yeah, there's freaking super pitcher. All right, let's wash out the main pitcher projections, so that's ready for the subscribers, and then we'll update some lineups, then we'll go from there. So Cole Raggins, hold up, Ortiz, Carmen. And then chat, if you guys are out there lurking, first of all, what's up? If you ain't ever typed in chat before, do it now. But if you guys are, whatever you're doing, prop betting, whatever you're doing, DFS, you got a hot take, a question you want a little second opinion on, Throw it in chat. And we'll take a look at it before we get off the air. And then after we get off the air, I'll be tweaking stuff in the spreadsheet. So no surprise here when we run the main slate projections. We get Logan Webb at the top, Freddie Peralta, Yamamoto, then Bowden Francis makes an appearance. Carlos Rodon, ill can't do it. Oh, I gotta have like a volatility rating next to these guys. All right, let's run our stack ratings. The hiccups. Detroit baseball. It's a good day to have a good day. Don't you forget it. All right, this is our main slate stack ratings. Houston's at the tippy top. Dodgers, Boston, Baltimore, Yankees. A lot more fives on the main slate than the early slate, but we also still have a lot of lineups to confirm. Yeah. What up? I am the Kai. Appreciate that. Any prize picks you love tonight? Well, we can look at it. All right. Will Smith batting cleanup. Rice leading off. Let's go. That's not crazy though. We've just kind of seen that. What's been crazy is like I want Aaron Judge to bat second all the time. And sometimes they're giving him in the 3 hole, which is okay because Goldie's been good, but I don't know. John Jones won titles on 8-ball in the training camps. Hey man, cocaine might be a performance enhancing drug actually, so I don't know. I've been in a lot of fights, prison fights, and the I feel like the hardest fight I was ever in was against a dude coked up, big old country boy, swole. That dude gave me a run, and it was like he had superhuman strength because of the cocaine. So for fighters to win on cocaine actually makes a lot of sense. Royals lineup, sweeping that, confirmed. Tigers lineup, Riley. Carry on my wayward son. Javi Baez in the 7 hole. Tomasino, dude, this lineup sucks. When they drop a 5-piece, won't be shocked. O'Neill, Cruz, Reynolds, McCutchen, and Manuel Valdez. Adam Frazier. Isaiah Connor Faleffer. Don't have a go. What's the Guardians waiting on? Marlins, Xavier Edwards, Jesus Sanchez, Kyle Stowers, Eric Wagaman. There's a righty, Mervis, who was already up there on the bottom detector. Connor Norby. These are not real names. These are year 30 MLB The Show franchise AAA names. Connor Norby, Griffin Conine, Otto Lopez, Liam Higgs. I'm sure that they're all goats. I'm just hating. Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Kepler, Romuto, Bohm, and Rojas as projected. All right. So any changes to the early pitcher projections based off of that? No. Stack rating off of that? Nothing major. No. Okay. Cocaine Cowboy, dude. Any of your old inmates got YouTube channels? I couldn't tell you. Probably, but I try to. I don't know. I'm so out of that game. I always see like cell phone footage of the inner walls lately, but I'm also seeing like a lot of prisons have like body cams and stuff now. Dang sure couldn't have. Never mind. I said I'm just glad to be chilling, dude. Just glad to be chilling. The Yankees lineup confirmed: Ben Rice leading off, Judgy, Belly, Goldie, Jazzy, JC Escara, Volpe, Trent Grisham, and Oswaldo. So a little bit of defense out there. No Jason Dominguez. See, Jason Dominguez got benched the other day because his contacts fell out. And he couldn't find him or whatever. Orioles lineup, Adley leading off. You get a leadoff catcher against a lefty getting into his positive split. O'Neill in the first inning. I know you guys love that. Ryan Mountcastle. Yeah, this Orioles lineup's looking good. Gary. El Gary. Jorge Mateo. We didn't have to do that, did we? No. What are we saying out there? It's 70 degrees, little wind to the left, center too. I'm gonna give them a little boost. Yeah, I mean that's a dirty lineup, dude. That's just dirt. That's filth. You might get that leadoff Adley bomb, 3K on Fanduel. Sometimes those catchers go under own. Why did I quit corrections? Man. Corrections, I don't know. I knocked up my baby mom when I was 18, right? I had this whole dream, go be a pro wrestler. That was it. You know, wrestling, pro wrestling, and running a wrestling company. When I was a kid, I actually wanted to run a wrestling company. That was the main dream. But then when I got my baby mama pregnant, I was like, well, I gotta go get a job. And I had been doing security for like the NFL and college, but it was a little bit more part-time than anything. So I signed up to be a CO and made a mini career at it. I ended up being really good at it. But you gotta remember, I was a baby, man, 18 years old. You don't know nothing. So I got desensitized real fast to things that you shouldn't be desensitized to. By the way, Fenway, wind blowing out the center, so we're gonna boost that weather a little bit too. And then after a while, it just gets pretty stressful. You're fighting all the time. And then, you know, me and my baby mama, we didn't last very long. I didn't have a lot tie me to that job. So I was a sergeant for a bit. Just complete utter chaos all the time. High stress situation, getting your butt chewed out, bagging bodies a couple times a week. It was war. It was war within your county line. If you guys know some correctional officers, they probably are a little bit more reserved about what they go through. Trust me, they're going through it, especially if they're at a crazy unit. Give them a little respect. But yeah, I mean, that's not, when you really stop and think about it, nobody grows up wanting to work in a prison their whole life. But if I spend my life just watching baseball, doing wrestling, just doing what I love to do, being self-sustaining, which is what I've been blessed to do, that's what I want to do. What really pushed me over the edge to quit that is at the time my girlfriend, long time, we were together like 10 years. She had a family emergency. Her sister had 4 kids, and long story short, they didn't have a dad anymore, and they just needed some help. So I dropped what we were doing to move to a different city to help raise those boys, and that's what did it. That's what created the disconnect from corrections. And then ever since then, I've been able to be self-sustaining, doing other stuff like DFS. That's why we quit. and I'm happy we did. Everything happens for a reason. You like Jeffers at catcher, even though he hasn't homered in this spot against Elder. Is he officially playing? Elder does give up homers, but heavy ground ball rate, and Jeffers really isn't that guy pal. So like is a strong word, but catcher's not my top priority on DraftKings. So if you're not going to play one of the Adleys or the Cal Rallies and you're just looking to pinch some pennies, usually what I would say is grab the cheap catcher with your stack and go from there. And that way you still get some positive correlation. But I don't like him, but I don't hate him. Like, I don't really have a reason to be on him or against him. So, yeah. Let me get that pitch report. Yeah, let me open it up for you. My bad. I don't even know why it's not up. There you go. Pitch report's up. There's an error on MGM. 1100 for a Jose Ramirez homer. Yeah, that's, I mean, I don't even care who the matchup is against. I would take that all the time. 1100? That's kind of crazy. I can't bet in Texas, but yeah, I would take that against Majinski. He doesn't give up bombs, but 1100 is kind of. What is 1100? 1100's an 8% probability. I'd take that. Join the army, need to check. Yeah, man, that's kind of how it goes. You're young. You're either responsible or irresponsible. It chose to be responsible. But it has created an elite skill set of crisis management for me in the last month alone. And then like I told y'all the other day, I punched this guy in my front porch. I just shut the door and went to sleep. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like other people that would be their whole day. It's like, oh my god, I got in a fight, guy. I was like, I don't care. Whatever. Here's to see, I never wanted to be one, but the stories are wild. Yeah, there's a lot of stories I'm just going to degrade with. All right, I think we got all the lineups. So Rich was looking for some prize picks lean. So I guess what I would probably do here is, I think we can go a little, I don't want to say game by game, but looking at the main slate. Orioles. I mean, I think we get into an Orioles stack pretty fast. In DFS, we might as well transfer that same energy to PrizePicks. So if you can get some Adley's at 3.5 total bases. That's basically a home run thing. 6 fantasy points for Adley in the leadoff spot. Yes, we'll do that all day, every day. And if you guys are on the O'Neill and Mountcastle, homers, but you don't want to specifically go after the homer, you could probably take O'Neill. Dang, dude, they're making you buy it, aren't they? 3.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs. I think you could move this line a little bit, but you could take something on them for hits plus runs plus RBIs. Probably 2.5 would be where I'm happy with. We can go 3.5 for now, though. And then Mountcastle, we seem to like him. Basically, what I would say is, once we're done with this, and you can move these lines to 2.5. I'm not logged in right now. Maybe pair that, since you got to have at least two pieces, or two pieces from 2 different teams. You can maybe go under on Abbott's outs, right? If you get through 5, you probably yank them, or you move his earnings to 1.5 and you take the over. So for instance, if you ran this card as a power play, that's really a $500. That's a $100 card. I think 3.5. I would rather take the 2.5 on O'Neill and Mountcastle if you could turn it. But that's how I would draw up a card here. Heavy correlation in a spot I really like. for the Orioles, and then kind of run the same thought process. I think Fenway might get a little crazy on the Boston side. I think the Astros first. Might be able to jump into something early for the Astros. Maybe the run first inning in that Astros game. Because if the Padres scores, likely due to their top 3, top 4. What's even on the board for that? The Paddock and Elder. I get that the Elder is a super splitty situation, so maybe Paddock and Elder. If you bet the first run innings, it makes all the sense in the world to do a correlation card with that. Like if you're gonna do Paddock and Elder, you'd probably throw any of 1 through 4 on the Braves lineup. Olsen, Ozuna back in the saddle. Dude, the Braves came in kind of cheap, huh? On DK. A little bit. Did I miss anything else? Yeah, Rich, I would run the. That's what I'll probably when we get off the air, I'll probably throw $21 unit cards at PrizePicks, and I'll probably post them all in the Discord and see what flies tonight. It should be fun. Big slate, big Friday night. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow, I believe, is going to be kind of a day thing, so we should definitely have a day stream. So it's looking like if they keep giving me the slates like they have this week, Mondays and Tuesdays, and then maybe Fridays are your day streams, and then the others we throw at the night. I appreciate you guys being pretty fluid. I mean, the viewer count for the day streams is kind of insane considering these airwaves are high rent. Yeah, tomorrow we got a lot early, so we'll probably have to be on the air tonight to break down tomorrow, and then the same with Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, we'll go from there. Yeah. So if you guys got nothing else, I would recommend you guys go over to my boy Terry. He's live right now. To pick his brain. I'll throw some links to why power reflects. I usually do power. Go check out Terry if you want some more insight on tonight's slate. I appreciate you guys. I'll be in the Discord. Love you guys. Tell somebody you love them. I appreciate it. Good luck. God bless. Go win some money. What up, Cosmo? Hi. Bye.